On my hand here, I have two
Hi, how are
falcons.
you? Hi,
Ray
how are
has two hawks.
you?
What's the difference?
I know.
Well, the falcons are simply bird hawks, simply put. And as we walk together, you will notice a few differences right away. You'll notice that the hawks have short, round wings. The falcons have long, pointed wings. By having those short wings, they're able to maneuver in and around trees. They're able to maneuver in the brush, the heavy brush, and they have long, beautiful tails, which allow them for easy maneuvering as they're going in and out of spots. The breaking of one feather could cause a catastrophic effect to their ability to hunt. So they catch their prey, they dispatch it quickly, and then they begin to pluck it and eat it right away. Now, all birds of prey actually use their feet for grabbing a hold of their prey. And these guys have quite long toes. Those long toes also enable them to be able to wrap around their prey more efficiently. Their prey being the birds. Being that the birds struggle a little bit more, it helps give them more control. Now, on my perch, you'll notice that I have one bird that's larger, one bird that's smaller. Now, this is pretty much across the board with all birds of prey. The females happen to be the larger of the two species. The males, the smaller. Why is that? Well, because the female, because of her large size, is more suited for sitting in the nest, protecting the baby from aerial predators. The male, although he is smaller, he can catch faster prey. So he can catch quite a large variety of prey. Because he's a smaller bird, he eats less and he brings more home to feed his growing family. The male helps out in the incubation of the babies when they're still in the egg. He spends about a third of the time on the nest. Now, in contrast, when the babies get larger, the female will join into the hunt and they will catch a wider variety of prey to feed their growing family. Because once those babies start to get like a week or so old, all they do is eat, sleep, and grow. They can double their size about every week. So it does require working with the Harris hawks, because the Harris hawks are actually birds that work together in a family group. They are quite family-oriented. They work much as a pack of wolves. We call them the wolves of the sky. And in the Harris hawk world, who's in charge of the family? The female. And it's usually the oldest female, because with wisdom, with age usually comes wisdom. So she leads the hunt with the rest of the family, or pack. And out in the wild, we can find Harris hawks in Texas and with each other. And it is for this reason that we choose to fly these Harris hawks to show how they work in harmony with each other, and they work in harmony with the trainer. Now, oftentimes we're asked, how do we train these birds? Well, what you'll notice Ray stuffing into his bag is something that looks a little bit like a little rabbit, or a squirrel, or some type of rodent. This is called a lure, and we actually use the lure to teach the bird how to go after its prey. We tie food to the head of the lure to encourage the bird to go after the head of its victim. Now, even though the hawks do not kill their prey in the same manner as the falcon, they do actually try to bind to the head of their victim. Makes for a lot more efficient of a kill, and it helps the bird to avoid being bitten or hurt by its struggling prey, because it is survival. So the prey is fighting for its life, the hawk is fighting for a meal. So let's get on with the flight. We're going to be flying a team of hawks two sisters that go by the name of Gayla and Hera. Now, one important announcement, I need the cooperation of all of you folks that are here. If you see somebody walking up with a dog, please let them know that this is the only bird that we have that actually has an issue with dogs. Now, what had happened was Hera, when she was a young bird, was actually harassed by one of her friend's dogs. It was a very large dog. And she actually imprinted a bad experience from that. So she learned to hate dogs. Something that we ever taught the bird, and it's something that we have not been able to unteach the bird. So if you see somebody walk over with a dog, please explain that to them. Ask them to keep that dog close to them at all times. This is a team of 5-year-old female Harris hawks. Quite a great squirrel hawking team. Very good at catching squirrels. We were actually very, very lucky to see them catch a squirrel and tag team it not too long ago, demonstrating their ability to do so. Now Ray is walking with a stick. The stick is not a weapon, but it is a tool, and we use a stick to actually scare out the prey that's always looking for an easy meal. Now, when we fly these birds, you may notice that our display he is working for her. Hopefully, see the position. Give her a small morsel